Good morning, students. I welcome you for the biology class. Today, in this particular video, I'll be discussing about the agricultural practices like preparation of soil, sowing, different methods in that, as well as agriculture implements. So, there are different practices which are used, and they are preparation of soil, sowing, applying manure and fertilizers, irrigation methods, weeding, that's the removal of weeds, protection of crops, and different methods like harvesting, threshing, winnowing, and then it is storage. So, first is preparation of soil. So, this involves plowing, leveling, and manuring. Plowing is defined as turning as well as loosening of the soil with the help of plow. So, why it has to be turned and the soil has to be loosened? So, when we do that, the friendly microorganisms as well as earthworm will grow and it had humus to the soil. And when you turn and loosen the soil, the dead and decaying organic matter which is present with the help of microbes, so that will be degraded to different nutrients. So only the top few centimeters of the topsoil will be rich in nutrients. When you turn that, the underneath nutrient rich soil will also be available for the plants to grow. So coming to crumbs. So these are referred to as a large pieces of aggregated soil which is present as a lumps. So this has to be crushed and grounded, and this is done while plowing and tilling of land before any land is meant for sowing, and is done with the help of iron leveler or a wooden plank for the smaller areas, and for the larger areas we do use a power tillers. So this is done for the proper spacing of the roots, for the proper penetration of the roots, for better aeration, and for good germination of seedlings. Coming to agricultural implements. So these are the tools which helps in agriculture. These are very much essentials like plow, hoe, seed drills, cultivator. Coming to plow, this is made up of a wood or a iron which is drawn by the pair of bulls or camels or etc. Any other animals can be used. So plowing is defined as loosening and turning of the soil which is done by a plow, and is used for tilling as well as adding fertilizers etc. So the plow contains a strong iron strip called plowshare and a long log of wood called plow shaft. There is a handle at one end, and at the other handle is being attached to a beam, and that is placed on the bull's neck. And this can be easily operated either by a man or with a bull. So this is the beam which is placed on the bull's neck, and this is a plow shaft, and this is the plowshare. It's much more clear. This is the beam which has been placed on the bull's neck. This is the plow shaft, this is plowshare, and this is the handle. Coming to advantages, so of plowing, it helps in penetration of the roots. It's much more deeper. It loosens the soil, so therefore it brings about air circulation. So brings about a proper aeration for the roots, and helps in removal of unwanted plants like weeds, and brings about proper mixing of the soil and helps in destroying the harmful organisms. Coming to leveling, so after plowing, certain lumps are left, so that has to be broken down, and this is done by leveler. So what are the advantages of leveling is it brings about protection of soil from soil erosion, and it mainly promotes irrigation. Coming to her, so this consisting of a long rod of wood, a strong hard plate, a broad plate of iron is fixed at one particular end. So it works like a blade. Now it is also pulled by animals. It's mainly used to remove weeds and to for loosening of the soil. So this is a grip. There's a big handle over here, and the rod. There's a beam that can be placed on the animal neck again, and there's the bent plate. Coming to cultivator. So when the plow is attached to a tractor, so it is called cultivator. So what are the advantages of this is it saves times and also the labor. Here it is much more clear. So this is a cultivator. Coming to sowing. So it's a process of putting seeds into the soil. So the seeds are selected in such a way that it should be a high yielding variety, and it should be germinated in nature. It should germinate properly. It should not be a dormant phase, and it should be sown. The seed should be sown at a proper right depth. They should not be overcrowding, and there should be a proper distance between each seeds, and it should be a disease resistant, and it should be a free from disease also, and it should be viable, easily available. Coming to the methods of sowing, like broadcasting. So it is done where the seeds are sown manually, not directly by scattering in soil. And the main disadvantage of this is there's an unequal distribution. So we can expect there'll be a overcrowding of seeds somewhere and there'll be no seeds at a particular place. So this results in reducing the crop yield. The other method is transplantation. So in this, the seeds are sown first in the nurseries and then the seedlings are transferred to the main field. For example, paddy. Coming to the traditional tool. So there is a traditional tool for sowing. So the shape is like funnel and the seeds are placed the filled in this particular funnel, so which then passes through these pipes and they do have a sharp edges, and these sharp edges will pierce the soil. They pierce into the soil and that's how seeds will be placed in the soil. Coming to seed drill, so it's mainly used for sowing seeds again. So in the seed drill, an iron tube with the funnel is attached at one particular end at the top, and the seeds are being placed in this funnel and then released in the soil furrows. The main advantages is it saves time again, and the seeds are sown at a proper right depth, the proper distance, and there is no overcrowding, and it's an efficient method of practicing agriculture. Thank you, students. Have a nice day.